All right.
Sorry.
Okay, can everyone on Discord mute, please? All right. Good morning, everybody. I am so sorry. We had some kind of weird technical glitch at the last second. I think there's been an update to Streamlabs, my streaming software, in the last couple of days, and the configuration has been changed. Deck, can you mute your mic, please, buddy?
Yep.
Okay, anyway, so I logged in and suddenly my camera stopped working, and my microphone stopped working, and then it started working, and it was a big mess. So I apologize, everyone, and now I'm a little rattled, so I'm going to do my best to keep going here. We will persevere. So, welcome back to the Chromeworks Club. We've got a really great lineup today. I want to do some more discussion about digital storytelling today. It's one of my favorite things to do when I'm teaching in classrooms. Digital storytelling is all about taking coding tools and other multimedia tools and telling stories with them, right? So, and that has wonderful applications in every course you could possibly imagine. If you're doing a history project on something like ancient Egypt, for example, you could do a little conversation where a pharaoh was talking to a slave about what the responsibilities were, or you could interview an artist, or do all kinds of stuff. So today I wanted to look at one of those sort of funnier sides of digital storytelling. We're going to do a little project where we're looking at a fake Zoom conversation between characters in Scratch. Now, this file, which was made by a teacher, his nickname is Mountain Tapir. He has been working on this stuff for quite a while. He published this way back in May 2020, just as the pandemic was starting to get really serious. And it's got all kinds of views on YouTube, and it's just a fun little file. So I thought today we'd have a look at it and talk a little bit about how we would go about customizing a file like this to make our own little story. So we're going to get right into that. Anyway, big shout out to Mountain Tapir, who's a teacher at Plimpton School. I looked it up on the internet, and I think he's in Wyoming. I'm not really sure. There are a couple of Plimpton schools, but it looks, based on what I'm seeing here, that he's from Wyoming. So big shout out to you if you're watching, sir. Really appreciate your work. Okay, so let's get into the file right now, and I'll have a look. I wanted to give a shout out, especially, he was just about to go to bed, but we had one of our first viewers from South Korea. Mickey's here today. So before I get on with the rest of the cast, I just wanted to say hi to Mickey, because I don't think I've ever had a viewer from South Korea. So welcome. Anyway, let's get to the project here. Well, there we go. So this project is called Sprite Zoom, as I said, and it kind of simulates a Zoom call. Let me show you what it looks like here. I'll just hit the play button and we'll just watch a little bit of it. I don't know if we'll have time to watch the whole thing since we're a little late. And poor Pico has his microphone killed, which is particularly accurate for today, of course, because I couldn't get my microphone going either. I'm really sorry about those technical glitches, guys. All right. Anyway, it's a really funny little conversation. There's not really much audio except for the log in and log out sign, and poor Pico's having so much trouble here with problems logging in and stuff, and getting his camera's not working. And then he shows up again, and his background is different. Now he's in a virtual background at the beach. Anyway, a very, very funny little project. I thought I'd give you guys a chance to tweak it and play around with it. I've created a starter file in Scratch, which you can find on my Livestream page at chromeworks.ca/livestream. And so the starter file, I'm also going to paste it into the chats here in case you guys are interested. So this file will... So this will be the same project we're looking at here, except with all the code stripped out of it. And we're just going to add some of our own code to it. Let me add it to the YouTube chat as well. There we go. So code along with us if you're interested. I'm not going to do the whole project today. I just wanted to give you guys a sense of where we were going with this and how to do some of the different aspects of it. I tried playing around with it, and it's a little bit more complicated than you think it would be. One of the main things I want to warn you about if you are calling this file up... Oh, my lighting's off here too today. See a little gray fringe around everything. There, that's better. I think I just moved my lights around. No, not really. That's a bit better. Okay, anyway, so do not touch this file. That's the one warning I'm going to give you. If you click inside this window here and start moving stuff around, you'll see that very, very quickly... let me get to this other working version of the file. as soon as I start moving stuff, the stacking order gets all messed up. Scratch by default will take whatever you've clicked on and bring it to the front. And the order of all these files is really, really complex, and it would take you forever to get stuff back up and in order again. So if you're going to be working with a file like this, please, please, please do not touch the screen. If you want to move stuff around, use coding commands to move it, and that way you won't interfere with the stacking order. As you can see, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on in the costumes here where they've been trimmed to fit the space around it. So some of them look really wacky, some of them are out of place. I'm going to show you how I would go about cleaning up a file like this and getting new graphics in it first, in case you're interested. So let's go, let me refresh this file right now and get a new version of it that hasn't been all messed up. And I will refrain from I'll follow my own advice here and refrain from clicking on the inside of it. All right, so let's say I wanted to change one of the backgrounds up here. So let's have a look at the actual project, at the project assets here. We've got our 4 sprites. So imagine this being in 3 different layers. The sprites are, sorry, the exited screen, the black screen is at the front, and then the characters are behind it, and then the background is behind that. And so by layering this, we can create different kinds of backgrounds, right? So when you're out of connection, you just make this visible, and the person pops in and out of place. And then the backgrounds, here's Pico's background, and you can change that, of course, using background commands. Now I'm going to show you guys how to add a new background command, a new background. It's a little trickier than you might think. So I'm going to go ahead and load a new backdrop up from my backdrops library. And let's just grab this castle, for example. All right, so if I want to bring this castle over to a sprite, from a background to a sprite is a little bit of a tricky move here. We're going to do a drag. So we're going to open up the backdrops inside our editor here and grab not the entire backdrop, but just the one frame of it here. So we can't grab this like a sprite and drag it. We have to drag one of these individual sprites. I'm going to grab the castle here and I'm going to drag it onto one of the backgrounds that I want to use. So let's go put it onto Gobo here. We'll put it onto Gobo background, and there we go. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to take another one here, like this jungle one, and we'll put it on top of Nano. And look what's happened here. So because of the stacking and stuff, everything's a little bit messed up here. Let me max this out to show you. So when you're putting your backgrounds down, sometimes they're going to overlap on top of other things, and that's where you got to do a little bit of fancy work with your eraser. So make sure you're in bitmap mode. It will say convert to vector down here if we're in bitmap mode. And all I'm going to ask you to do is just basically grab one of these cursor-shaped tools here, and we're just going to draw a box around what we estimate is a part of the thing that's overlapping on the wrong part. So I'm just going to draw a box on the top here. We're going to do a bit of trial and error here. I'm going to hit delete, and that should be updating itself, and it is not. What's going on here? Oh, I'm in the wrong background. I'm in the background rather than in the Pico file here. So let's go back to Pico, and is it, no, Nano, sorry, it's Nano's backdrop here. There's Nano. So again, I'm going to grab my tool, draw a box around the top, and then hit delete and see if I did it right. You see, so I didn't get quite enough there. I can still see some along the top here. So I'm just going to try again until I get to it, until I've pretty much made it perfect. So that's looking pretty good. If I went too far like this, you'll see the gap along the top, and then we can hit undo and get yourself back to it and give it another try. So as you're loading new backdrops, you're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking and stuff like this. But whatever you do, don't try and drag stuff around on the screen, as I said, because that is really going to mess you up big time. It looks like the cat's background is also messed up here. I'm not quite sure how that happened. Let's get a new backdrop in for the cat as well. So I'll grab this. No, we don't. We'll pick up a brand new one here. Anyone have any suggestions? Let's do an outer space one here. Okay, there's our space backdrop, and we'll drag that over to the background for the cat. There we go. And now it looks like everything's a little bit off here, eh? Let's try maybe changing the Y attribute a little bit, see if we can bring it down. Nope, it's still not right. So, oh, you know what? It's the Gobo castle here that's messed up. Let me just cut a bit off the top of the castle here, and that solves it. So as you can see, it's a little bit tricky trying to get these things lined up properly, but you can, after a little bit of playing around, get these backgrounds set up. And as long as you don't dare touch it again after you're done, then you're good. Okay, let's go back to the cat background now, and we'll remove a little bit from the left of the image. Whoops, I think I've got the screen maxed out here. And that is still not looking good, eh? What's going on? Oh, that's it. So we'll just do a little bit more here. All right, you guys are getting the idea anyway, so that's what that's all about. Getting your backgrounds and your sprites and stuff ready to go. All right, I'm just going to start coding from here. So let's go back to our code here. We want to start the project with all of these black things visible. So I'm just going to go along the bottom here and make them all show up. And the first thing we're going to want to do is connect. So I'm going to just start with whoever's first on the phone call. I think I'm going to go with Scratch the Cat. And you can see I've still got a little bit of a problem here with backgrounds overlapping. I don't have time to mess with it right now, so we're just going to learn to live with it. So let's go back to the code here, and I'll show you guys what to do to get this up and running. So it's a fairly simple script. We're going to start with a green flag. And then we're going to show, just to make sure it's visible from the last time. Then we're going to play this sound effect, which is our connect sound. Oh, the connect sound isn't there. I'll grab it over from another file. All right, so all of these backgrounds should have a connect on them, and for some reason the cat didn't. Let me play the connect sound for you. And that's the typical Zoom connect sound. You guys will probably, it'll be familiar to some of you guys anyway. All right, so we're gonna play that sound until done, because we want it to actually end before the screen goes unblocked. So we'll go play sound connect until done. We'll hide here in our hide commands after that sound's done, and then we'll play another pop sound, which will tell us that we're connected and we're in the Zoom meeting now. Connect pop. There we go. And now we can do this for everyone else and have them all pop up simultaneously, or we could add a bit of a delay. There's a couple of different ways we could do this. We could do it with messages, but I think I'm just going to copy this over to all my other friends here. So over to all the other black screens, I'm just going to drag it across to the other sprites. And we can use those to start. So what I'm going to do is just inside these other sprites, I'm going to add a bit of a delay. So let's go ahead and add maybe a 1 second delay here, right before it, oh, actually after it shows, but before it plays the sound. There we go. And let's do the same thing here. And maybe we'll make this one 2 seconds. And we'll make this one, Gobo's file here, 3 seconds. All right, so Gobo is the last person, and we're going to remember this. He's the last person who shows up on the screen, and so he's the one who has to kind of pass the ball off to everyone else. Think of this digital storytelling project a little bit like a game of like hot potato, where only one person has command of the story at any given time. So right now, Gobo, the last person to do anything, has the control over the project. He's going to hand it off to whoever the next person is whose turn it is to talk. So I'm going to make Scratch talk first. Let's just try this out first. I'll just show you what this looks like. So we click the green flag. Whoa, I got some weird stuff going here. Just a sec. I have something left over here from a different file that I need to clean up. There we go. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's try that one more time. Click the green flag, and people start to pop in, and then finally Gobo pops in. So let's go back to Gobo's script here, the black screen in front of Gobo, and now we're going to send off a message to Scratch the Cat, telling him that it's his turn to start talking right now. So we're going to go broadcast a message. It's in the events commands here, broadcast. And then I like to use numbers. Now, Mountain Tapir, the original author of this project, he used named things here. He said he had different labels on it, and sometimes he would use the name of the actual line of dialogue that was being said. That makes it very simple from one perspective, but if you go back and you're looking at your code and you're trying to trace what order stuff happens in, I find it a little confusing. So I like to use numbers here. I just start with the number 1 as my new message name, and then I keep adding a number each time that I go through this. Okay, so I'm broadcasting message 1 now because there's nothing left to do in this project right now. It basically ends after this last thing, and we're going to go back to the cat here. So all he needs to do is wait for that message 1 to be received, and then he can say something. So let's have him say, "Hello, is this on?" question mark. And then maybe we'll have him pause for a little bit and then say something like, "Can anyone hear me?" There we go. So let's try clicking the green flag again. You'll see that as soon as everyone starts popping up on the screen, Scratch will start talking. There we go. "Hello, is this on?" Beautiful. Now the program ends again, and so we have to pass that hot potato on to the next character who's going to say something. I'm going to show you how we can actually get everyone saying something with this. So I'm going to go broadcast a message 2. And we'll go back to our events, broadcast message 2, new message 2. There we go. And now I can have all 3 of these guys say something. So we're all going to go when I receive message 2. Let's have him say, "Hey." And I'm just going to drag this over to Giga, or to Gobo and Nano. So over on Nano here, we're going to have him say, "Dude." And then we will duplicate that. And if you want to add a little bit of variety to it, I'm going to go back to Gobo here, and I'm going to have him just wait a second before he says something, or maybe half a second, so that they're not all talking at the same time. And that makes it appear a little more natural. And he's going to say, "My main cat." There we go. Let's try that out again. And there we go. And can anyone hear me? "Dude, hey." And then Gobo speaks last. Okay, so Gobo's the next one, and you can kind of get a sense of where this is going. We can have our next event happening. So let's go and broadcast one more message. I'm not going to do this ad infinitum here because I think there's not too much actual unique code in here. It's mostly just about broadcasting messages. So I'm going to broadcast a new message here called 3. And I wanted to show you one other thing you can do here. So if you've got multiple things happening in the same sprite, you can also have multiple when I receive messages in the same thing. So if I go back to the cat here, for example, I can go when I receive message 3. I'm going to have Scratch here say, I really hate Zoom calls. When will things be back to normal? So I'm saying that, but I also want maybe a sound effect to happen at the same time, right? So this is happening for 3 seconds. I can use a start sound here and get that coordinated with this so they both happen at the same time. Or I can also use a when I receive here to have 2 things happen simultaneously. So just all I'm trying to say here is that you can have, even inside the same sprite, you can have multiple when I receive and trigger a whole bunch of stuff all happening at once. Just remember at the very end, once your character's finished talking, you need at least one broadcast message that sends you off to your other objects. Now, there's one object here that I had a little bit of difficulty figuring out. I had to look at it. It's called a Nano's Friend. And if you look here, it's just a black bar. And I was thinking, what is that all about? So let me show you where it is. If I move it to the right here. Yeah, you can see it's right beside Nano on the screen here. If we go looking to the left here. So this little black bar is right over here. So why did Mountain Tapir, the author of this file, add a little black thing here? Why would he do that? Well, let me show you. He's actually having somebody else talk from off the side of the screen, so that you know that the voice balloon comes from wherever it is that the sprite center is. So since this thing's center is right on the edge of the screen, when I have him talk, let's go. I think my last message was a message broadcast 3. So let's go to Nano's friend here, and we'll go when I receive message 3. And what we're going to do here is have his mom calling from off the screen. So we're going to say, Nano, time for dinner. That's when I receive 3. And then we'll broadcast that message 4 back to Nano. So we're going to go to our events. We'll broadcast a new message called 4. There we go. And so back to Nano again. And when Nano receives 4, we're going to have him switch to an upset costume because his mom is talking to him, of course. So what's a nice one? There we go. So we're going to tell him to switch to costume 4, Nano Annoyed. So because we're switching costumes, we should go back and initialize the costume, because the next time we go through this file, it's all going to be messed up again. So let's tell it at the beginning to switch costume to Nano A, and that'll switch him to his default costume. And then we're going to go when I receive 4 and switch his costume to Nano Annoyed. And then we'll have him say, maybe we'll have him wait a half a second so it doesn't happen too fast. You got to get the delays in here to make things flow smoothly. And then we're going to say, "Aw, Mom. Mom, you're embarrassing me again. Embarrassing me again." Oh, spelled that wrong. There we go. I think I spelled embarrassing. Oh, I actually spelled the word wrong. No. There we go. Okay, you're embarrassing me again. You guys get the idea. I'm not going to do the whole project here, as I said, but let me show you this up to this point. And there's the mom talking from off the edge. Nano, time for dinner. All right, beautiful. So you guys can see how this is going. Now, the one little addition I wanted to suggest you guys might want to do in this project is to maybe try having your characters actually move their lips when they're talking. Now, you can also record your voice saying these things as well. So let me go back to the cat here again. So I'm going to broadcast a new message, and I'll show you guys how that might work. So let's go broadcast, new message. We'll call it 5. And let's go back to our cat again. We'll tell him when I receive 5. Now let's have him say something. I might actually record my voice here. So let's go to my sounds menu here. I'm going to go record with the voice recorder. And let's just record me saying something like, what should I say? Hey everybody, do you want to play a game? There we go. And because it's Scratch and because it's a cartoon character, we're going to want it to be a little more cartoonish. So I'm going to speed up his voice.
Hey everybody, do you want to play a game?
There we go. Hey everybody.
Hey everybody, do you want to play a game? Hey everybody, do you want to play a game?
That's good. That's better. All right. So we've got that voice command in here, which we've called recording 1. So let's go looks. We'll start sound under our sound commands here. Start sound recording 1. And here's where I want to move my lips around. Now you could, what I would probably do just for starters here is duplicate this cat A sprite. Maybe I'll do a cat, so I'll call this one cat B. And I'll call this one cat C. Maybe I'll do one more here called cat D. All right, so I've got 4 different ones here, and I'm going to get into this guy's face. I'm going to ungroup it, being careful not to move stuff around. So I'm going to go to my I'm going to click with the black tool and select ungroup. which will break it off into its component pieces. And now I can smush this and mix it around, so I can go with my tool and squash it like this if I want. Or I can also go with this reshape tool here, click on this one, and change the shape of his mouth that way by dragging these handles around. So that's one good way to get a more complicated mouth going in here for this character and make it look like he's moving. But I wanted to show you another project that I worked on last summer. Some of you guys who were with me for the COVID computer camp might remember this. This is my Scratch lip sync project. And you can find this on my website if you're interested. And I do believe I put a link to it inside the file description. So I just want to give you a quick demo of how this works. When you click the green flag, it asks you to say something. And you type something in. Hello, my name is Scratch. And then you hit enter, and he actually says the thing that you, and his lips move around. Watch this.
Hello, my name is Scratch.
So I made that work, and as I said, you guys can see the full tutorial online. But I made that work by downloading these different lip shapes here. I've included them in the bottom of the starter file here. So if you wanted to, you could make your character talk in much the same way here. Let's go back to our working file here. And so instead of using these made up mouths, I'm going to go grab one of the mouth animations from my face animation. So I'm going to delete his mouth and all four of these different things. Again, I have to ungroup first. Let's ungroup this one too. And then ungroup this one. All right. And I'm just going to grab one of these random faces from the other, from the face animation thing here. And we'll just grab a couple. So I'm going to draw a loop around them. I'm going to hit copy. And so this is the letter E sound, as you can tell. So just take some common looking sounds. And we'll paste that down and move it until it's in something like the appropriate position here. It's way too big, of course. So we'll resize her. Just like that. And that'll take a bit of playing around to get the sizes right. It probably looks a little bit too big still. That's looking not too bad. And let's do that a couple more times. I'm going to go grab maybe this mouth here. Copy. And then go back to our cat again. And let's center this puppy. And then we'll paste. And again, we're way too big, so let's drag it into size here. We're just going to do that a couple more times so that we get a couple of random facial movements going here. Whoa, his mouth is way too big still. That's looking a little better. And we'll get one more. I think this is taking too long, so I'm actually just going to do 3 here. Let me just get one more of these. We'll get a nice wide open mouth here. Copy. Go back to our cat. And we'll go to the first one here, and we will go paste there. And there's our big wide open mouth. All right. Whoops. There we go. All right, this is looking not too bad now. So we've got 3 different mouth movements here. This cat C1 is probably the default one. Yeah, so this looks pretty good. So what we want to do is every time we talk, we want to actually trigger this thing and make it and make those lips move for a certain amount of time. I'm going to do that with a custom block. I'm going to go create a custom block. I'm going to click Make Block. I'm just going to call it Talk. And I'm going to add a little variable here. I'm going to add an input, and we're going to call that one this many times. And that's the number of times our character is going to flap his lips around randomly when it's time to talk. So now I have a new block here that says define talk this many times. Uh-oh, I just deleted it by accident. Let's try that one more time. Talk this many times. There we go. All right, so now we can say what's going to happen when that block gets invoked, and then we can use this block any place we want, anytime we want our cat to say something. So let's go repeat, And inside this repeat loop, we're going to say how many times we want to repeat. So whatever the number is we enter here, if it's 5, for example, that will transfer a 5 over to this many times. And that's how many times he'll go through the loop. So we can adjust that so that he always is talking the exact length of time that that we want him to. And we can make that longer or shorter depending on how much stuff our character has to say and how long that's on the screen. So inside there, we're going to go switch costume. Let's go to our looks commands. We'll switch costume. And the costumes we're trying to switch through are the 1, 2, and 3. So we're just going to pick a random number between 1 and 3. And we're going to pop that into this space. And you can change that depending, on, of course, on how many costumes you have. I've got quite a few of them in that file if you guys are interested in getting all the sounds. And then we're going to just wait a little bit. Let's put just a 0.1 second delay in here. 0.1. And so you can see that every time I click on this talk now, let's just try it once. So you can see that he's going to hold it. Switch costume to pick random 1 to 3. Oh, there he goes. So every time I click on this, you can see that his lips change around. Now let's let's increase the number there. Let's tell it to do it 10 times. And there we go. And you can see it kind of looks like he's actually talking here. I'm going to attach that to a space bar here, just so that I can show you in a bigger screen because I can't trigger it otherwise. So I'll go when space key pressed, talk 10 times. And let's max the screen out so we can enjoy it in its full glory here. There we go. And the last thing we want to do when he stops talking, though, is switch him back to that default costume, which is the costume C. So let's go switch costume to costume C. And now we've got this customizable block that we can use anywhere else in our code. We don't actually want it attached to the space key here. Let's basically say when I receive 5, we're going to play the recording. And I simultaneously want him to talk. So I'm going to do a second when I receive here. That's also going to be when I receive 5. There we go. All right, so instead of playing the whole story again, I'm just going to test this by broadcasting a message 5 here. And I'm going to attach that one to the space key. And let's maximize the screen and we'll have a look and see what that looks like.
Hey everybody, do you want to play a game?
That's perfect, eh? That's not too bad. Let's try it again.
Hey everybody, do you want to play a game?
Cool. So that's my twist on this file anyway. I think if you guys work hard at this, you can get Scratch talking using actual voice commands and using lip movement as well and get something that's a little step above what's done here. So you know you can customize this in all kinds of different ways. You can add different characters in here. Adding characters isn't too difficult, but again, if you might have to do some playing around to stop stuff from overlapping in some cases. So if I want to, for example, get a different character in here, let me get like a real person in here from our people file. Let's get Anina in here maybe. And so Anina, because this layer is behind the other one, she's okay, right? We can move her around in here and it's not going to interfere with the other files. But let's look at the nano character now. Let's maybe make her a little bit bigger. There we go. Now let's look at that. Let's import a new character into nano here and see what that looks like. Because I have a feeling it's going to be a little messed up. So let me just show you what to do in case you do want to try this. Please try this at home. Okay, here we are. Here is Avery. Let's put her in. She's a cartoon character, but she'll do. And look at this. You see that she is kind of sticking out the top here. So we can just manually move her down if we want and resize her. That's not too bad. Let's go back to the cat again. Let's see if that one gives us any trouble. I just want to make sure that this can work without us having to do anything crazy. Let's go back to people again, and we'll get Calvret in here. I think Calvret is a new character. I don't think he's been in Scratch for the whole time. I don't know if anyone in my audience knows for sure. All right. And look at that. So Calvret's arms are on top of Avery's face, so that's no good. And so this is one of these cases where we're going to have to do a bit of erasing again. So let me grab my tool here. We'll just hit delete a couple of times until we just get exactly the amount that we need erased from the side of this image. And now we're good again. So that's all it takes really to get different characters in here. You just have to be careful to move stuff around properly. And okay, I'm going to actually drag this one here like that. I didn't destroy anything. Good. Well, I did actually, because my nano is not at the front here. We'll probably want to move. Let's move that over a bit to get out of the way. All right. Ah! So again, be really careful about overlaps. If I move this over too far, now I've got problems here, and now I might have to erase on this side to make it all work out properly, right? Okay. I think that's all I want to do with this today, guys. I just think it's a really cool project. So I'm inviting... I'm just going to save my working file. So if anyone's interested in just playing around with what I'm working on here, I just had a request from Deck on Discord to have a look at this. So I'm going to copy that over to you guys if you're interested.
Mr. T, and it's unshared. You need to share it.
Yeah. Oh, it's not shared, eh? Okay, let me share it right now.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Anyway, so that's it for that little project. I would love to see you guys remix it. I do have a remix room set up, so if you go over to my website at chromeworks.ca, whoop, I've unmaxed myself here. chromeworks.ca. Let me just show you my website. And on the live stream link, you'll see down here, as always, a link to this week's file. And down here, you'll see a link here to Remix Challenge. And I've got a little remix area set up here where you'll be able to add your projects. So if you make a cool remix of this Zoom conference, then please share it with me. Mountain Tapir, the originator of this file, also has a studio just for these things. If you want to share it with the author of the file, I think he'd be tickled to see you guys creating some stuff for him as well. So go ahead and do that. All right, so while we're on the subject of digital storytelling, I'm starting a brand new segment this week. Well, not me personally. One of my co-op students, Tam Jeed, I got him to work. I wanted a little regular feature here. Let me go back to this view. So I wanted to start a little regular feature here with digital storytelling, a little bit of it every week. And so the mission I gave Tam Jeed this week was to go and find a really interesting digital storytelling file that's already on Scratch. Tell us all about it, show it a little bit of it to us, and then what I've asked him to do is find something in the code that's really interesting that he hasn't seen before in a different file, or that he thinks you guys could learn a little bit from, and then do a little tutorial on it. So Tam Jeed found a really interesting and very quirky little story to show you, and I'm going to show you that right now, guys. So let's get right to it.
Hey guys, I'm going to be showing you the Scratch story called Episode 1 Bob, made by Killerbyte.
Hello and welcome to part 1 of our epic cool story. This is our main character. He is called Bob. And Bob is walking along and he sees a building. It is called the bank, and he sees that there is lots of money inside. So Bob gets an idea. And there's a little light bulb here, because that means he's getting an idea. And Bob goes in the bank. And Bob points at the person, and he's like, "Can I have money?" And they're like, "No." And Bob leaves.
Now you're probably wondering how he managed to animate his mouse like that. Let's see inside his project to see what he did. Now, in the mouse sprite that he created, you can see every 0.05 seconds he added his mouse X and mouse Y to 2 different lists. And now when I click the start button, the mouse will go to the recorded X values and Y values every 0.05 seconds until there is no more values left. This is a really smart way to move sprites around in a irregular fashion. This technique can be used in other ways too. As you can see, I've done the same thing in my project, except it will only start recording if I press the up arrow, and will stop recording if I press space. Now we have to record. I'll press the up arrow when I'm ready. Move your mouse around however you want. And when I'm done, I'll press space. When you're done recording your values, disconnect this, and then connect this script. And now the butterfly moves exactly where I recorded it. Hope you guys found this helpful. This has been Story Corners with Tamjeet, and thank you for watching.
Sorry, I had my microphone switched off. Anyway, so I thought that was a really cool little motion capture technology thing there, and this is Tamjeet's file. I've just pasted it into the chat here, and if you guys want to call it up and have a look at it, I think this is really cool. So you can see that this part stays disconnected when you're running the game. The first thing that happens is it deletes all its data. We've got a table here, or a list for X coordinates and Y coordinates. And when you start recording, it basically just is, it deletes this list and then starts constantly adding your X and Y coordinates. As soon as you hit the up arrow key to start recording, you can see that it starts adding coordinates for where my mouse is currently. So you're basically constantly recording where your mouse is on the screen. I could not figure out how he did this until I saw Tamjeet's tutorial, and it's actually quite a clever little system he set up here. So we're just adding this data to a table, and then when we want to use it, we have to disconnect it from the screen and then run it here. So let me run an actual test here. I'm going to do something cool on the screen here. Let's go when green flag clicked. I'm going to hit the up arrow, and then I'm going to make a square with my mouse like this, and then I'm going to do a circle, and then I'll spiral into the middle. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to hit the up arrow key, and I'm going to do a square. Then I'm going to do a circle. Then I'm going to start spiraling towards the middle, and then stay there. All right, when I'm done, I'll hit the space key. Now let's see if that recorded. We'll just have a look at our lists here, and there's all our new data. So all I have to do now is disconnect this. That's the important thing to remember, because otherwise it will delete all that data again the next time you run the program. And then click on the green flag. And you can see that our character is doing a little square, exactly the way that I did it on the screen. It's quite uncanny, actually. I think this is the coolest little bit of coding. I have never seen anything quite like this, and I was super impressed. So thank you, Tamjeet, for giving us that little tutorial. I think this is actually a really neat thing, and I can definitely see this as a way to quickly program coordinates for even for digital storytelling, right? And I might use this in a future little bit of code. I see that Ishan's in here. Yeah, so Ishan's saying that it's really impressive. It's a nice little bit of coding. There's almost no code involved here, and yet we're doing something very, very elaborate that's capturing every little move that I'm doing here. How do you guys, so you guys on Discord are pretty impressed. I haven't given any shout outs to my friends on Discord today. Deck and Kian are both really excited about this. Deck, say hi to us, buddy.
Hi.
Hi, Deck from England. So what do you think about what kind of applications do you think you could use for a file like this?
I'm not sure what you mean.
You're not sure. So looking at this system for recording motion, what kind of Scratch projects could you use it in? Kian, I want you to think about that too if you want to give me an answer in a minute. Can anyone else on the Discord give me a thought about what kind of projects we could use this in? Oh, I'm hearing cricket. Sorry to put you guys on the. Oh, hey, Ken.
You could try and use it for
Any sport.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's start with Ishan.
Any sport.
For any sport, like a sports game. Yeah. I'm not sure. Who's so I've got a new name on the Discord here. Who's Ken123? Is it somebody who's been renamed, or?
Oh, that's Kendra.
That's Kendra. Oh, Kendra, you renamed yourself without letting me know. Hi, Kendra. All right. So anyway, let's just see who else is here on the Discord. Gamer Davey's here today. Good morning. Ishan, my co-op student, is here. Good morning, Ishan.
Morning.
How are things today?
It's going really great.
Good, good. So you were impressed with this project too, Ishan?
Yeah, this is like it's not something I would think of, honestly,
Yeah.
but the code's really impressive.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how simple it is, and yet what a complex job it does. Like every little quirk of my movement's been captured by it. Yeah, that's really impressive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cam, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. So, Cam, my other co-op student, I know you haven't done very much coding or whatever like that, but you can definitely see how elegant this little bit of code is. Very impressive.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really impressive.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, who else is with us? I've said hi to Deck. Kian from Ottawa's here. Hi, Kian. And hi there. And Kendra's here as always. Hi, Kendra. Nope, it's okay. Anyway, let's move along with the broadcast, guys. No real need.
Hi.
Hi there, Kendra from Rockland. How are you doing today?
Good.
Good. And I think I said hi to Gamer Davey. You can say hi if you want to give yourself a little shout out there, buddy. All right. Anyway, so I'm hoping to see some remixes that use this technology. I'm going to try to use it in a future week and maybe in another digital storytelling file. I'm going to see if there's a way that I can capture these movements and do some interesting stories with it. Okay, so let's move on. Benley, one of my co-op students, has also created a little digital storytelling kind of project. It's just a fun little project where a penguin slides across the screen and you walk him. So let me just show you that quickly, and it's just a nice little beginner level project that he wanted to share with you, so let's do that right now.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Scratch character that animates through costumes and plays sound when you press a certain key. Alright, to start off, we're going to want to choose Sprite. I'm going to search up a penguin for my Sprite. Alright, now that we have our Sprite, we're going to go to Events and get our starting block. And then we're going to put a forever under the starting block. And inside the forever, we're going to put an if then. In the little diamond of the if then, we're going to want to put a key press button and change the key press to right arrow. And now we're going to want to add controls for what the right arrow does. So the right arrow, we're going to want to make it point in direction, and we're going to want to make it move. So this makes it move right. Now we're going to want to do the same thing for the left arrow key, and to do that we can do a little trick by clicking here and clicking duplicate and just putting it right under the if then, and switch this around to left arrow. Oops. Left arrow and switch this to negative 90 degrees so it's pointing to the left. And now you got a working left right. Also make sure to go to direction and click this middle left right button to make sure that the sprite doesn't flip upside down when you're clicking left and right. Now we're going to want to add a backdrop. So to do that we can go here and search for a backdrop. I'm going to be using this Arctic backdrop. So I want to make the penguin slide down the hill and run it up the hill, but the Arctic looks kind of flat, so to do that I'm just going to edit the backdrop to tilt it and make it look more like a hill. To do that we're going to convert to a vector, and we're going to tilt it a bit like this. Bring it up in size so you don't see the white borders on the edge. And now it looks a lot more hill-like. As you guys can see, the penguin is moving left and right and looks like it's kind of sliding and not moving his legs or arm. Luckily, the sprite has costumes, which makes it make it look like it's moving. So you can add a looks command and add a neck costume into the movement and make it look like it's running now. I'm only going to do this for the right arrow key because I'm going to be making it run uphill and then slide down the hill. Now to make it slide down the hill, we're going to go to motion and add a glide block. Now it's sliding down the hill. But as you guys can see, it's kind of like stopping at a certain place. To fix that, you're just going to want to move the x-axis further down to around like 250. Now it's moving down the hill. Now we're gonna want to add our sound that makes it sound like it's sliding down the hill. I have my own set of sound that I found online, so I can upload it through here and select the snow sound. Just to trim it up a bit and soften it up. Now that we have our sound in, we're going to go to the sound tab here and add a play sound until done. It's important you add the until done and add it into the block. We're going to run into a little issue here, and as you can see, when you go down, it starts playing the sound at the end of all the blocks. Even if you put it all the way up to the front, it would still make a little issue, and it wouldn't go through these blocks until this is done playing the sound. So to fix that, we're going to make a new set of commands and add a start, add a forever, if then, a key press into the diamond and make that into a left arrow, and add the play sound inside the left arrow, and then inside the new set of commands. Just like that, the issue should be fixed. And now it looks like it's sliding down the hill. Now you're subscribed with moving costume and sound when pressing a key. Like and subscribe for more.
All right, thanks Bentley for that little report. I actually, it was a very simple little beginner level project, but kind of fun. So thank you very much for that. So we've got a new entry this week, a new weekly segment that we're going to be starting. Moses, another one of my co-op students that you haven't seen any work from, he's been hard at work prototyping and developing a new little segment on Minecraft mods, and I'm very excited to bring you the first part of that today. So let's get to that right now.
Have you ever been mining at your favorite spot and thought to yourself, geez, I wish I could get home a little faster? Well, worry no more. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Chromeworks Mod Review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Simple Teleporters mod, where, the game gives you some simple teleporters. The way you can craft them is you go over to the table. So once you've got yourself a crafting table, you go ahead, put that down, and you're going to need at least 4 blocks of quartz, a block of gold, and 2 ender shards, which I'm going to show you how to make in a second. But when you add them all up together like that, you get yourself one clean teleporter. And how to make those ender shards, you're going to need to head over to a furnace. You're going to need to get yourself a furnace. And what you're going to need to do is simply get some coal. And you're going to need to go over to the nether and get yourself some eyes of ender. And once you get all of that going, it should get yourself one full ender shard. But now, to show you how these teleporters actually work. So first off, you're going to need to put down a teleporter in your place of your choosing. And then you're going to need to go back to those ender. So I went ahead and finally got me those ender shards. And now I'm going to show you how these teleporters work. It's really quite simple. All you need to do is place the teleporter in the place of your choosing. Let's say right here. And then head to the block that you would like to teleport to. Let's say this one right here. And now all you need to do is press shift, head over to the block, and right click while you're holding shift, just like that. And it should say that the crystal is connected to that specific block in text. And now all you need to do is walk over down to your teleporter, right click without shifting actually. There you go. And you should be able to teleport like it's no problem. So in order to download the Simple Teleporters mod, you're going to need to head over to curseforge.com and over to the Simple Teleporters page. It will have more information on different things you can craft with the mod and different available features. And what in the mode that I downloaded is I went to not downloaded version 1.13.2, but you can download whatever version you would like to play on. And in order to make the mod run, you're going to need to head over to minecraftforge.com and download Minecraft version 1.13.2 and run that as a profile on your Minecraft page. And once you have that run and installed, the last thing you're going to need is LemonLib, which is a supporting program which helps the Simple Teleporters mod run. All you'll need to do with LemonLib is to download the supporting version, which will be 1.13.2, and put it in the same mods folder that you would put the Simple Teleporters mod. And after that, you should be up and running. And lastly, I would have to say that my favorite part about the mod is you don't need to commit to the teleporter right away. If you already have an ender shard ready with you, already linked to a block you'd like to teleport to, all you need to do is put down the teleporter, put in the shard, and you're good to go. And one last great thing about it is you can pick up the teleporters for on the go. Thank you guys for watching this Chromeworks mod review with the Simple Teleporters. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and check out a little bit more of our content on the page. Thanks for watching.
Whoop. Sorry. So thanks a lot for that. I had my microphone off again. Dope. Anyway, so that was really great. Here's another game review by Yaya. Let me show you that right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Untitled back with another Scratch game review. This week's game review will be on Lingo Word Games by Colin Mack. Colin Mack has created and coded many of the cool games like Diamond Miner, Cat and Mouse, and Scratch Pianola. Lingo is a word game where you are given a letter and have to guess the word that starts with the letter given. You only have 9 tries to guess the right amount of word before the letter given to you changes. This game contains 28,000 family-friendly valid words that are used in the game. There's a timer of 1 minute, and whenever you get a word right before the timer increases a bit, so you don't lose your score. If the time hits the end, you lose your round and it tells you how much score you got. There's 3 different letter games you can play. There's a 4-letter game, a 5-letter game, and a 6-letter game. Each different letter game contains a top 10 list of those who guessed the right amount of words. If you get a certain amount of points, you can go check if your name is on the top 10 list. Though if you want your name on there, you just check you're logged in on your Scratch account. Because there's a code in the game that allows Colin to see your account and name, and that's how you'll be in the top 10 list. There's 12 sprites that are all coded to do something individually. The keypad sprite is to press and enter with the mouse or on the keyboard to send your guess of the word. The skip sprite is to go to another random letter to guess instead of the one you have. The buttons are for the 4-letter game, 5-letter game, 6-letter game, and then the menu. These 2 sprites control the sound and music of the game. You can turn it off and do as you wish. The score button is to keep track of your words guessed and points received. Within each sprite is a lot of code signaling each other of when to go, leave, stop, or go back. Colin Mack did an amazing job with this Lingo game. It took Colin a lot of time and effort to make this game, so try it out. And I hope to see at least some of your names on the top 10 list. Don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you for that, Yaya. So I actually thought it was a really professional game. It was one of the nicest graphical looking games, like a very plain word game, but the actual look and feel of it's really smooth and sweet. So very impressive work. The link to play that game or remix it is again in the description for this file. So go ahead and have a look at it if you're interested. And we have one last feature here, and that is Ishan's Music Camp. So today, is Ishan still with us?
Yep, hey.
Hi, Ishan. Tell us what today's segment's about, buddy.
So basically, if you want to make any background music on Scratch, or if you want to make any background music for any animation, This tutorial will show you how to just take a simple segment of music and to loop it around.
Excellent, thanks. Let's get to that right now.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Ishan's Music Camp, and today I'll be showing you how to make a loop or edit music using Scratch's built-in audio editor. To go to where all the sounds are, you're going to come up here where it says Code, Costumes, and Sounds, and click on Sounds. Once you're at Sounds, it shows where all the sounds for your sprite is. You can see that there's a meow sound over here. That's because we have a cat sprite. And since we have a cat sprite, it automatically gives us a meow sound. If we were to have a dog sprite, then we were to have an automatic woof sound. You can remove this sound by just pressing the garbage tool. To upload your music, you're going to come down here to this choose a sound icon down at the bottom, and you're going to go all the way up to upload sound. Once you click on that, it'll show your music laboratory or your files laboratory where it shows all the files on your computer. You're going to choose your MP3 or whatever audio file you have. Click on it and then press open. Once you have that, your sound will show over here and you'll have all these options. You can see here that it's an added sound, so if you were to add more and upload more sounds, then there will be more icons here to show. So let's get started on editing our music file. So to play it, you just press the play button over here and then it'll play for you. To play a certain part, you select it by clicking on a certain part and then dragging it. And then when you do that and then press play, it'll play whatever was there. You can also use the selecting tool to copy whatever by coming up here to press copy and then pasting it somewhere else. If you wanted to make a loop of a specific section, then you'd only need that specific section, and then you'd put code around it, which I'll show you later. So say that I wanted to make a loop of just this. Then I'd only keep this, and then I delete everything that's around it. So I'll delete the rest of the song over here by coming up here and pressing the scissors. And then I wanted to delete this part, or take off this part. Delete. And now I have this piece of music. And now I want to start looping this. So we'll go over here to code, where it says code, costumes, and sounds. Go back to code, and now we're gonna go to events. We'll click on that, and then we'll pick an event. I'll pick when space key is pressed. So now that we have that event, we're gonna go to sounds, and we're gonna go play sounds, and then whatever music file name that you have. The thing is, when you play this, it'll only play it once. So we'll play it now. And then it stops. That's because we don't have a loop around it yet. So to make a loop, you go down to control, and then you have this forever loop. So now that we have this, we're going to take this, and we're going to put it around the play sound block. So now when we play it, it's going to start looping around. So when we press space, it's going to play the sound, and then since this arrow shows that it goes back up and it plays again, and this happens forever. So when we press it, and then it starts back again. Now that you have this block of code, which is your loop, you can use this for background music for either whatever game you're making, or you could use it for whatever animation you're making, or even if you're mixing music on Scratch. You don't have to use when space key is pressed. There's other events too, like when sprites clicked, when the green flag is clicked, when backdrop switches, and a really important one, which you'll learn later on in coding, when I receive and then a message. This one's really important when you want to code complex games. Remember, this is its own line of code, so you can have other lines of code working parallel to it and working at the same time. The only thing that's important is that you have this forever loop and you have this event. Great, and now you're all set. For more Ishan's Music Camp content, or for more amazing Scratch videos, make sure to go to our YouTube channel and check it out, and like and subscribe to this video if you'd like. Thank you, and see you next time.
Thanks for that report, Ishan. So, wow, we had quite a bit of content this week. Our co-op students are busy and they're producing more stuff all the time now. So you guys can look forward to seeing more interesting game reviews, Minecraft reports, and other really cool stuff that you can do with coding and other software here next week. Oh, actually not next week. I wanted to remind everyone that next week I have a little bit of a family thing happening, and I'm actually going to be out of the house for 4 or 5 days and will be away from my computer equipment. So there will be no stream next week, unfortunately. So we're going to take a little 1-week break, but I'll be back in 2 weeks with some more great content for you. In the meantime, we're just going to keep producing tons of great stuff for you, and we'll probably be releasing some of that over YouTube, dribbling it out in little bits and pieces over the course of the next few weeks. So you won't stop hearing from us. We're just not going to do a live stream next week.